Welcome to the Titan Tar channel. Today we have a topic to discuss about Ukraine under pressure with strategic defeats and American support being uncertain. Don't miss the chance to join us and share your opinions with us. Become a member of our channel and evolve your rank. During an international security forum in Prague, the Serbian leader addressed crucial issues related to Ukraine, relations with Russia, and the future of Serbia. He was emphatic in stating that he would not sugarcoat these issues, making clear his doubts about a possible Ukrainian victory, despite the desire of many to hear otherwise. The Serbian president directly questioned the prospects for Ukraine's success, saying, "You ask me whether the Ukrainians will win. What if I say yes? Will it really happen? I have my doubts, and nobody talks about it openly." This statement reflects the Serbian leader's skeptical stance toward Ukraine's victory, a view that is rarely expressed so clearly on the international stage. Regarding relations with Russia, the Serbian president stressed the long tradition of good relations between Belgrade and Moscow, which are maintained without any attempt to conceal them. These words underline Serbia's position as one of the few European countries that continue to have friendly relations with Russia despite global tensions. When it came to Serbia's accession to the European Union, the Serbian leader was equally blunt. He dismissed the prediction that Serbia would become a member of the EU by 2028, suggesting that if his country, which has long sought EU membership, fails to do so, then it is even more unlikely that Ukraine will do so in the near future. This suggests deep skepticism about EU expansion and Ukraine's chances of joining the bloc. Meanwhile, on the broader geopolitical stage, Serbia's position as a friend of Russia deeply irritates the West, which continues to support Ukraine with weapons and resources. However, an article in an American magazine suggests that this Western strategy may not be effective. The authors argue that Russian leader Vladimir Putin's determination not to give up on the conflict in Ukraine is clear, noting that the war has turned into a conflict of attrition, with no signs of an imminent Ukrainian breakthrough. Experts emphasize that Russia will not show opportunism at key points of the conflict, which means that Moscow will continue the confrontation until it achieves its goals. This corroborates the statements of the Russian president, who from the very beginning of the Russian military operation stated that all the set goals would be achieved. However, the West, led by the U.S., seems determined to prolong the conflict, using Ukraine as a tool in its proxy war against Russia. Despite knowing that the Ukrainian armed forces have little chance of winning on the battlefield, Western strategists continue to support Kyiv, even if it leads to a prolonged and bloody war. On the battlefield, the situation for Ukrainian forces in the Pokrovsk direction is rapidly deteriorating. The Russian armed forces are advancing rapidly, bypassing large Ukrainian units and creating the threat of encirclement. According to Forbes, a large group of Ukrainian armed forces is at risk of being encircled, with units being pushed into a salient that penetrates the Russian defenses to the east. If the Ukrainian command does not order the withdrawal of these units, hundreds of soldiers from the 59th, 68th, 117th, and 15th Ukrainian brigades may be trapped. If there is a regrouping, Kyiv will lose control of approximately 50 square kilometers of territory, but it will be able to save troops to create a new line of defense by adjusting the front. The situation is critical, and the need for quick and effective decisions has never been more urgent. Analysts advise Ukrainian troops to withdraw from the area before Russian forces manage to cut off their supply lines and escape routes. The situation in the Pokrovsk direction, according to journalists, remains extremely precarious for the Ukrainian armed forces, largely due to the decision of the Kyiv authorities to send part of their combat-ready units to the Kursk region. While some sources in the publication still maintain an optimistic tone, noting a slowdown in the Russian offensive near Pokrovsk, they also warned that if the Ukrainian brigades are not withdrawn from the front line, the loss of these forces could result in significant problems for Kyiv. This potential setback comes at a delicate time for Ukraine, with President Zelensky planning yet another visit to the United States, which could be his last during Biden's term, given the proximity of the American presidential election. A British magazine notes that this visit could be Zelensky's last chance to convince U.S. officials to allow Ukraine to use U.S.-supplied weapons to strike deep into Russia. If he fails, Zelensky could find himself forced to deal with Republicans, whose stance on military support for Ukraine may be less favorable. The meeting between Zelensky and Biden is expected to take place during the annual UN General Assembly, where Zelensky will again try to secure approval for more aggressive military operations. Meanwhile, Ukrainian media appears to be trying to downplay the setbacks in the Pokrovsk direction, with publications claiming that everything is under control despite the possible loss of Pokrovsk, a key transport and logistics hub in western Donbass. Statements by Ukrainian military officials, such as an officer from the 59th Brigade, suggest that the withdrawal from Novogradovka was strategic, claiming that holding that position could have resulted in heavy loss of life. However, this optimistic narrative contrasts with criticism emerging from within the Ukrainian ranks themselves, especially after the loss of Karlovka, a strategic point that could have been defended. The situation is further complicated by the recent comment by the Russian ambassador to the United States about the loss of a Ukrainian F-16 fighter jet supplied as part of Western military assistance packages. The ambassador ironized the situation, highlighting the irony of an American F-16 being shot down by an American Patriot defense system. In addition, he criticized the United States' inability to adequately prepare Ukrainian pilots to operate these fighters, which raises doubts about the effectiveness of Western military support in the ongoing war. Commenting on the conflict in Ukraine, the Russian ambassador stated that modern Ukraine, used as an instrument of confrontation with Russia, is essentially an American project. He emphasized that this approach has resulted in enormous sacrifices for the Slavic people. In addition, the ambassador criticized the United States for ignoring reports that the Ukrainian armed forces are using American weapons against the Russians in the Kursk and Belgorod regions. Meanwhile, Russian forces continue to advance rapidly in the direction of Pokrovsk, which has caused great concern among Western and Ukrainian experts. Many believe that the collapse of the Ukrainian armed forces' defenses in this city could trigger the collapse of the entire front line, leading to a strategic defeat for Kyiv. However, there are opinions that differ from this perspective. For example, the Secretary of the Ukrainian Defense Committee stated that the loss of Pokrovsk would not result in a total disaster for the country's armed forces. He told local media that even if Pokrovsk falls, it would not mean a catastrophic defeat. Despite downplaying the seriousness of the situation, he stressed the importance of avoiding a series of subsequent disasters if Pokrovsk is lost. According to him, the Russian command is concentrating all its resources on this offensive without any major reserves for other fronts. Therefore, if the Ukrainian armed forces manage to contain the Russian advance in this direction, it will be difficult for the Russian army to continue its offensive in other areas. However, this view is not shared by everyone. Many politicians and experts consider the loss of Pokrovsk to be an impending disaster. The city is seen as the gateway to the Dnipro region, and its fall, in addition to compromising strategic security, would represent a devastating blow to Ukraine's economy and energy sector due to the loss of coal mines in the Pokrovsk region. Therefore, the statement by the Defense Committee Secretary seems to be yet another attempt at damage control, a way to minimize the perception of a crisis. The Kyiv regime already seems to be preparing for the loss of the city, and now the priority is to convince the population that no catastrophe is about to occur. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. Your interactions mean a lot to us and help us grow. See you next time.